What's up guys, you Doomsday here. Today we're back again, and in this video we're going to be playing some Vi in the jungle. So for this match, I was actually in a 5-man with the other people in this match that are on my team, and this turned out to be a very good match, so I thought I'd share it. And the main reason for that is because it's a 5-man, it's a very organized team, but that definitely made it much more challenging, and we're going to see as we get further into this match that we have to play a very specific way in order to be effective. And we'll see that once we start to get more into the match and once we get closer to the objectives. But to start off, I am going to be doing the normal clear on Vi, starting off at the red buff and moving over to the blue side. Because one strength of Vi is definitely Vi has a very fast jungle clear. Like, Vi's jungle clear is one of the fastest for any jungler. Plus, you stay pretty healthy. You could see I already took 2 camps and I'm still almost like full health. So that's definitely one of the perks of Vi, because if you stay this healthy and you're able to go through your clear this fast, if there ends up being a scuttle fight, then that'll usually work in your favor just because you have really strong early game compared to a lot of champs. Over here now, I see Fizz over here, and now that I saw Fish actually show up on the minimap, like right around here, I know he's probably just going to be clearing his own red side jungle, and we're both probably going to end up at the scuttle, so that's something I'm definitely going to be aware of. So I'm pinging to my teammates, I'm going to be coming to this side over here. And I'm just letting my other laners know in case, because I am going to be looking for rotate if the Fizz does contest. But this Mundo probably has a ward in that bush, so he does back off. Let's see if the Fizz shows up. I am not sure if he's around. Yep, actually there's the Fizz right behind me. And looks like I am barely able to get that. That was actually a really good dodge by Fizz. But this was a pretty big mistake on our mid laner's part. And that was a good job actually by our Baron lane. We were able to get the rotate in, but it would have been really nice if our mid laner could have gotten the rotate in. But you can kind of see this lane's kind of at like a stalemate. Neither laner really has an advantage. Plus Morgana is relatively weak in the early game, so instead the Baron laner is able to rotate and able to chase down this Fizz over here, pick that up. So now I'm just waiting for my abilities to come back off cooldown. There's the flash by Mundo. He's unfortunately able to get out of that, but he had to burn pretty much everything. So now actually their Diana rotates. Looks like I am going to go down here. I'd already burned my flash and everything, so no escape there. That ended up being pretty good. I did get the scuttle, plus I got first blood. Our team got first blood, which is good. And one of the things about going for this fight over here is something which you have to recognize is this top lane matchup is actually a Darius versus a Mundo. And in the early game, Darius definitely does provide more value in these small skirmishes just because Mundo isn't really as tanky. He doesn't have any dashes or anything, so overall, pretty good for me. And that was a pretty decent fight to take. But now, farming up my blue buff again, just trying to push up to level 5. I did just reach level 5 with this camp. And now I can look for a good gank anywhere. Going to be looking for a gank on this top side, probably. This was actually probably a mistake on my part. And the reason why I'll say that is probably just because it's a Mundo that's also level 5. So we might be able to pick up this kill just because Darius has his ultimate too. So if we set up Darius well, then Darius can just ultimate and kill this Mundo. But probably a better move actually would have been going to this bottom lane over here. And instead just farming up this camp over here, these Krugs. Because these Krugs also would have gotten me to level 5. And sure, I wouldn't have gotten the blue buff, but this would have put me in a very good position for a gank. And a good way to tell that I probably should have gone here is by looking at where the wave is positioned. So you can kind of see that the enemy is positioned super far ahead. And you can tell just by where the wave is, actually, that they're going to be positioned pretty far overextended. So that probably actually would have been the better move now that I look back at this. But I am looking for play on this top side. Let's see if we're able to get one kill. This is probably warded up. Might be warded up. Actually, I'd still go for this. I just ult him right away. Let's see if we're able to pick this up here. We were not able to kill him there. But Darius still has his ultimate. I think I back off here. Yep, I used my ultimate and everything. So unfortunately not able to pick up that kill. And that actually was a mistake on my part. And that's definitely something that I should have paid attention to more in the match, but it's still nice to point it out at least. I did not realize that until actually I'm just now watching this again. But now with the objective spawning, I am looking to stay on this side of the map. And a huge thing to note, actually, is if you look at the enemy champs, if you look at that green circle near the enemy champs on the right side of the map, the Diana is actually down. And I think I saw that the Diana ulted in the mid lane when they're fighting Arrow in mid lane. So if we are looking for a fight, we really have to take very, very specific fights, because if you look at the enemy team champ, they have like really, really strong ultimates for these skirmishes. So like a Fizz ult plus a Diana ult and an Alistar ult, that's going to be super hard to go through. So you can see now I'm kind of just ghosting around. I can tell that they're looking for a dive, so I'm setting up back here. That's a good ult by... Oh, I landed a really good flash combo, actually. Looks like I'm actually able to pick up 2 kills there. So that was actually a really good combo by me. I was able to land a first ability plus a flash, which definitely messed up their engage. So now we can look for this dragon here. We still do have to be a bit careful. So we see that both the Baron laners are still up there, but the enemy mid is missing. So that is something that I do need to be a bit cautious of. That's a good route by our Morgana. And now this Alistar has shown back up. So I'm on the run. I can't really get knocked up because I know if I get knocked up by the Alistar, then the Diana is just going to engage and ult onto me. So I'm just going to end up dying if I do that. But now to look at the rest of the map now, with the Herald being up, I think a good question is, do I want to fight for this Herald? And I actually think I opt not to even go for this over here. And the reason for that is I know Fizz has his ultimate, Diana has their ultimate again, plus Mundo will just be really hard to kill. So I don't know. I don't think I contest this, and I probably shouldn't contest this. Hopefully I don't. But I think I'm probably just getting up some, or I'm looking for a gank onto this mid over here, but looks like they have solid warding still, so I'm just gonna keep on farming up my jungle. Waiting to see if anybody steps towards this area over here. But you can kind of see their Mundo's pressing up, their Diana's going to be pushing up also and have their ultimate, and then the Fizz ultimate too. I can't really tank that, so as I said, I'm just farming up. I see him start setting up warding or clearing warding, and there's a good chance that they're starting this up now. Diana's rotating, but I see that they have good warding on me too. They just placed a bunch of wards in my jungle, so I opt actually not to even go for that, and I tell my teammates we probably shouldn't even. So instead what I do is I like to just rotate all the way down to the bottom side of the map and see if I can make something happen over here. Because I actually know that their Fizz is not in the area, so he can't counter gank me or anything. I know he's not in the area. So I'm looking to see if I can make a play down here, but looks like they have backed off a decent amount. So now, see this Diana out here. They flash away, but I'm still able to pick up that 1 kill. And then that Fizz retreats back on your turret. So now I'm starting to close in on this bot side over here. Seeing if I can land a good first ability. There's the Ezreal dash. And I'm able to pick that up. Ooh, that was really good try by Alistar actually to try and knock me away from the Ezreal. But, ooh, are we able to pick that up? That was a nice arrow by Varus. So we were able to pick that up, and that's pretty good. So overall, that turned out to be pretty decent. We didn't die at the Herald, which is good. We didn't even contest it. But I think that was a smart move, because I think if we took that fight, if you just look at the ultimates and the positioning that all of our teammates had, the odds that we could have survived through a Fizz ult, a Mundo ult, plus a Diana ult is very, very low. Like, we probably would not have won that fight at all. So instead, at least we were able to trade relatively evenly, and we did not go into big deficit. So we're only 1,000 gold down right now, which is fine. We didn't get team wiped or anything, but now I'm just waiting for my ultimate to come back up. And now is when the match is going to start to get a bit tricky. And the main reason for that is this Mundo is going to start to pick up in their team fighting potential, because they're going to start to gain so much health. And there's only so much that I could do. So actually, looks like we're going for an engage over here. I think I start to back up because I see the Ezreal coming along the way. So looks like I just dip out of there. That's a good disengage by Nami. But that's huge that they got our first tier mid turret, because now they can play super aggro and position throughout our jungle and rotate pretty much freely. So that's one of the big reasons why defending your first tier mid turret should be like your top priority as like any mid lane. Because like once you give that up, you give up so much map control too. But now I see that they're looking to push this turret. I think they want to get this turret, so I'm trying to make it back. I have my ultimate off cooldown, so I could easily just ultimate somebody if I see somebody. Oh, and actually over here, one thing that I would recommend not doing in a case like this is ultimating the Fizz. And the reason for that is Fizz has their dodge ability where they can like leap. So if they are a decent player, then they'll just dodge your ultimate. So then they'll have just been a wasted ultimate. So I think what I do is I bait out that ability first. Now, once I bait it out, now I can look for an ultimate, but this isn't a good angle to look for an ultimate because they have 4 of them there, and I doubt I could go through all that. Instead, though, they're pretty low, and this first dragon has spawned, so I'll look for that. Get some nice poke damage down. We're able to crowd control up the Alistair, and now I'm really playing around my carries. That's something that you should really notice, actually, is I'm not going in and then I'm not just staying engaged. I am going in, I'm landing my first ability and stuff, getting some good burst damage, and then running back and letting my Varus, letting my Nami do their part. And remember what I was saying earlier about these fights are going to start to get harder with this giant frontline here because they have a really beefy comp with like Alistair, Mundo, and then with Diana ult too. They have so much teamfight potential. And it's hard to play into this team comp because you have to play it very, very specifically. Because if you get hit by like any of these big ultimates or if any of your squishies get like run down by Alistair or Mundo, then you're going to be in a pretty big world of trouble. So you can kind of see over here, we're positioned kind of weirdly. I'm just trying to secure this dragon. We're able to get the dragon at least, but we get hit by the Diana ult, and that's very unfortunate. Let's see if we're able to pick up a kill at least over here. Looks like we're able to pick up 1 kill. That's decent. We did get the dragon. Ooh, is he going to go down here? He might go down. Oh, wait, actually, is he going to live? Oh, that axe got him. Damn, that's so unfortunate. That was really close. But pretty much from that engage, we kind of realized that we can't really fight the enemy front up. So there's a lot of different styles of team fighting, and one of the most common and probably like the most basic one is front to back team fighting. So pretty much what that means is you have the teammates positioned, so the front line is in front, and then the squishy back line is in the back, and then pretty much you kill the front line first, and then you look to get the back line. That's the most classic type, but if you just look at these comps, you can tell that we lose that kind of fight any day just because of how beefy their front line is. Like, if we just full-on engage onto him, like, if I just full-on engage onto him over here, sure, I'll land a first ability, I'll land an ultimate, but that's going to do almost no damage to him just because of how tanky they are. So instead, I really have to kind of adjust my playing style, and I have to learn to play around my carries more. The only way that we win these fights, essentially, is by letting our carries poke away. Because that is the one advantage we have. We have a Morgana, we have a Varus. They can keep on poking. Like, you can see him starting it over here. So you see now, I'm not hard engage. I'm not ulting in or anything. I'm just following up on my teammates. We land some good abilities there. We're able to chunk them down a bit. And then I start to back off a bit. And again, look, notice, I'm just sitting in the back, okay? I'm not even doing that too much. But if I start a full-on engage, that is how we lose. But I'm just letting my teammates poke them down. You can see we're all staying healthy. We're just poking them down. I'm running away again. And then once we get a good angle, we can finally look to capitalize on that. So now, I land a good knock-up onto the Diana as they go for their engage. And this Darius popping off over here, that is a triple kill. I ult back in, and he's able to pick up a quadra kill, and that was a huge play by Darius. So another thing about playing that slowish playstyle is it gives Darius time to like land a good hook and to land his stacks for his perk. And you can see what happens when you give him some time to, when you give a Darius some time to build up their stacks, because once you get a 5-stack Darius, that could chunk anybody down. But yeah, as I was saying, this is actually a 5-man from my Discord server. Sometimes if I'm just like feeling it some nights, I'll just play on my Smurf. This is actually Diamond rank. I was playing on my Diamond Smurf. Sometimes I just like to 5-man at night with other people. It's just fun to do that. But if you are looking for a Discord server to join, I'll put the link to mine in the description. Oh wait, do I go down here? Damn, that's so unfortunate. That turret kind of trolled me being one shot. I kind of trolled myself, actually. That's kind of unfortunate. But I'll leave the link in the description to my Discord server. Feel free to join. There is, like, I think close to 600 people or so. It's pretty active. People are always in discussion, looking for people to party with and such. But now I am about to respawn. The next dragon should be spawning soon. Just pushing out the waves over here. Pushing him out. But for my build, I did build I went for the Aftershock rune this match just because I wanted to provide more tank for my team. That's normally what I'd like to do on Vi. You can go Conqueror or 2, depending on if you want the more damage playstyle of Vi. Because Conqueror, of course, does provide more damage, but Aftershock is really nice to provide extra tank for your team. And that's mostly what I prefer. But I'd say it's a lot of personal preference and depending on your playstyle. So now we're setting up for the next dragon over here. I'm looking to get some good burst damage, but you can see I get that burst damage and then I kind of step out a bit. I'm just letting my teammates do their part and able to pick up 1 kill there. Let's see if we can pick up this Diana also. Able to pick 2 up. And that's pretty good now that we got those kills before the dragon. Oh, but actually something I want to talk about in my role in teamfights is one of the big parts of the enemy team comp is that Diana engage. So Diana dashes in, they use their ultimate, and then that can completely destroy your team. And we saw that in the first team fight when Diana did land a good ult. They're able to just dash from teammate to teammate and just delete you down. But one thing that really messes up Diana actually is crowd control right after they dash in with their ultimate. If you are able to crowd control up a Diana right as they go for their ultimate, it really, really messes up their engage. Because then they don't get their dashes off, they aren't able to get the resets, and they just don't have the angle that they were looking for. And you can see how beefy that Mundo is now. That Darius ultimate was not even able to chunk him down. Now I'm just charging on my first abilities. That Diana dashes away last second, unfortunately. I almost have my ult off cooldown in 5 seconds, so I'm waiting for that. That's Alistair. Tries to force another engage. This Diana also almost has ult off cooldown. So now, being a bit cautious, I probably can't get any kills here. So now, I'm able to land a good burst, but still survive, just ult the Diana down. And now, we're able to survive that. We did lose our mid turret, which is unfortunate. And that's probably one of the hardest parts about this match is because we lost our 2 mid turrets. Now, this Mundo, this Alistair, they're able to position so aggro. And that makes it really hard because, like, our team comp, we don't have enough damage to just burst them down. We have to play it way slower, and we have to be able to poke right and keep ourselves safe. But we are able to close the gold gap down. You can see we're just about even now. We're finally able to catch up. Plus, we have some dragons, so that's good. But honestly speaking, even though we have 3 dragons, against like a Mundo and an Alistair and a Diana, it really doesn't matter. Because if you position wrong, if you take the wrong fight, you're still going to lose it against that team comp. Just because their comp is so strong in team fights. And that's what makes some of those champs good in solo queue is like people don't know how to play against these kinds of comps. And that's why champs like Diana, Alistair are considered really strong champs to play in like the respective positions. So now we can see we're all starting to group up again. Varus is still pushing the bottom lane, so not doing anything too fancy over here. Waiting for our ADC to group back up. And now I actually see that Fizz recalling. I just smite him just to annoy him a bit. Cancel his recall. That's actually a really good thing you could do is if you're like out of range of somebody, when you want to stop the recall, you can actually use your smite, which has a pretty decent range. So now we're pretty much sieging their turret. And my goal over here is literally to just keep my carries protected. So I let them do their poking, I let them throw out their bubbles, and I keep an eye out for big engages. So now they're able to land that. I try and go into their backline. This turns out to be a really messy fight. We're all kind of just running around. Everybody's flashing away. Guardian Angel's getting popped everywhere. But they're so tanky, and ooh, I'm able to pick up 1 kill onto the Diana, but they're pretty low. We lose 1, or we lose 2, and then we're able to trade back for 1 kill at least. But you can kind of see in these front-to-front fights, they have so much crowd control and so much tankiness with their team comps that, like, we can't burst them down, really. And that's the mistake that I was talking about earlier, is a lot of people will just engage into the fight, and that's what happened there was we got engaged upon, and we just had to start the fight and then just keep on going with it, which is not what we want. The way that we want to play these fights is we want to poke them out. We want to play it way slower, make sure they can't get a good engage onto us. And I need to be able to position so that they can't engage onto our back carries. So I think at the beginning of the fight, actually, they were able to go onto our Nami or Varus. So that was kind of bad positioning by us. But I am respawning here. The Elder is about to spawn, and this is going to be a huge fight for the Elder. So unfortunately, we did lose our gold lead again. So now they have the advantage for that, but trying to get some warding on that. We should be good, but they just cleared that right away, actually. That's kind of unfortunate. But this match turned out to be like a really, really big team fighting based match. And I think team fighting is a topic that a lot of people struggle on. So that's actually why I decided to upload this video, is because I think the team fighting aspect of this is very, very interesting. And that I think just seeing different kinds of play styles and way that you can play as like a tank jungler is really important. So now you can see they're going for their engage over here, but they went onto the Darius. So Darius can just heal up over here. But now we're all grouped up, and unless I catch somebody out, I'm not going to go for a full-on engage. They engage onto me. That's fine if they want to engage onto me, as long as we keep our backline carries protected. So we see that, and notice what happened there. That Diana just hit our entire team. But what did I do as my role as a crowd control jungler? I ulted that Diana as soon as they went in for their own ultimate. So you see now, I just ulted them. You can see they landed their ultimate on our entire team. And look at that. Now we're able to chain these crowd controls. We force out the stasis, and we are able to live this. So that was really well played by us. And you can see just getting that preemptive damage off, because if you've ever played a champ like Alistar or Mundo, you know one of the most awkward positions you could be put in is like when you're already half health before a fight begins. Because you can't full on commit when you're already like half health. It's just way harder to as an Alistar or something like that. So I've played a decent amount of Alistar. I think Alistar is actually like, Alistar is probably like one of the champs that I played the most. Probably more than Vi even, and it's also one of my highest win rate champs. But as an Alistar, like being half health just makes it so much harder, because then you just die pretty fast. Whereas if you're like a full health Alistar with your ultimate, it's pretty much impossible to die like right away. So that's why just getting the extra chip damage at the beginning and just positioning right so you can protect your carries and so they don't get engaged upon is just so key. So now there's two of them here. I'm kind of just hanging out in the area. I'm looking to push multiple lanes with this Baron. I think that if we could push down this inhib over here and then this mid lane at least, then that would be huge for us. But I think looks like I'm resetting. I could probably buy an item, actually. That's probably why. Yep, I finish off my Thorn Mill. And that's really important against this Mundo to be able to itemize right. So you need to get a Bramble Vest at least. And what that does is essentially whenever an enemy attacks you, it reduces their healing that they get. So that's huge against champs like Mundo that have a lot of lifesteal. So I definitely wanted to reset and get that Thorn Mill. But now, starting to push this, and one thing that you need to pay attention to when you are pushing with Baron buff and you want to push with multiple lanes is you want to try and have multiple lanes that crash at the same time. So you want this pressure on this turret to be at about the same time that I'm putting the pressure on this turret, because they can't really address both of us at the same time. And looks like they got some pretty good chip damage onto Fizz. I'm over here. It looks like I'm actually rotating down here. I saw that the Fizz was pretty low, so able to do that now. I have my Guardian Angel back up, so I can look for an engage, but we just need to be careful of this Diana over here. Looking to see if I can get a good angle, but doesn't look like I am. Instead, remember what I said, I'm just playing it safe. I'm literally just standing in front of my teammates, and I'm trying to make it so they won't get engaged upon while they just keep on poking them down. So, like, look at this Alistar now. This Alistar is half health, and I did nothing to him. I literally just allowed for my Varus and my Nami to go for their poke damage. So now, looks like I tried to get a good combo onto the Ezreal. I forced him out. I'm still full health, somehow even diving that deep. So now, I see this Diana over here. Looks like they engage, and you can see I ult him right as they ult too. Saw that ult coming, but now we're able to kite back with my team, and this Morgana damage has really turned up, but this was really, really well played, I think, from us, and really adjusting to learn how to fight these team fights, because that's something that most people probably wouldn't understand. Even in like Diamond and Grandmaster tiers, like people wouldn't understand that, and they would just play those team fights completely wrong. So as you can see, pretty much everybody did their job. That Darius started to pop off towards the mid game, which is huge. That Morgana damage too is kind of dirty at the end. And that was, of course, a good job by our support and ADC. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. And if you did, make sure to like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see y'all in the next video.